Well, let us network two computers together. We're going to share files and such. We do the same things that we did before with our other program where we're setting up remote desktop. We need to make sure that when we go to Machine and Settings, that our network is connected to the bridged adapter, because I'm going to connect my local machine to my virtual machine. Over the network, nobody knows if you're a real physical computer or a virtual computer. Well, we need to log in to my castle, apparently. Wouldn't that be interesting to live there? It's just gorgeous. I don't think I have quite enough money. All right. So we right-click on this guy, go to Network and Internet Settings. We want to make sure that this is set to a private network because you're not going to ever want to share anything on a public network. That is not a good idea. That's a good way to have hackers come in and do stuff. So we're in the right one. We're going to do what's called workgroup sharing, meaning we don't have a central server. So let's go to our File Explorer and explore our files. We're going down to My Local Disk, and rather than mess around with documents and other places, we're just going to go to the local C drive. We could go to Documents and make a data folder in there. Sharing out documents can be kind of problematic. This is a better approach for reasons I'm not going to go through today. So we do New, and we're going to call this folder Data. Oh, looks like I've already done that on this computer for another lab. Okay, so we have our data folder. We're going to right-click on it, and we're going to use Simple File Sharing. So you right-click, and we're going to choose Show More Options. And we're going to do... All right, it was right there all along. I just missed it. Right-click on Data. Go to Show More Options, give access to specific people. Well, in this case, we're just going to give shared access to our account, user. You could, if you had other people in here, you could add other users, but on this computer, I only have a user. It's probably not a good idea to share something out for everybody. So we own it. Right? So we can open, change, and create files. So we go ahead and share, which now means it's now available over the network, or it will be in a minute. Now notice this little part here. In the documentation, I say, note the UNC path. This is called a Universal Naming Convention path. It goes / server name / share name. Well, let's go ahead and click Done, because I've got that. And I can also copy and paste it. So I've got that. Now I'm on my local computer in my file manager. I'm going to go up here and... Oh, that didn't work, did it? It did it the wrong way around. / Windows 11 / data. Now, all things being equal, it should come up and ask for, oh, looks like I've already done this. It would normally ask for the username and password, but I must have done this on another assignment. Okay, so here I am. There's my little file that I created. I can open it up. I can save it. I can create a new file. I can copy stuff from, we'll copy a Visio file. I can copy it from here, paste it over onto my virtual machine, and there it goes across the network. Oops, something didn't work. There. So I can use this just as if it was another folder or another drive to store things on. Now the problem is, most users are not going to go up here, type this in, go over here and do all that stuff. So commonly we do what's called mapping a drive. You can right click. Oh, well, it's way down at the bottom. Let's see if we can get that to be seen a little better. Remember, I'm on my local computer. I need to close all this up. There, I can see that better. Let's see what happens when I right click. It's still not showing up. I have to move my... All right, let's try that. When you right-click on a share, there's an option to map a network drive. You can also right-click on this PC and map a network drive. So what would I like to map? Well, my folder's already there. I'd pick W. All you have to do is pick a drive that's different than what's being used. Now on my computer, I am not logged in as user with password 01, so I would want to say connect with different credentials, and then it's going to ask me for those different credentials, which is going to be password 01, and I want it to remember, so every time I restart my computer, the drive shows up, and so it's attempting to connect, and there I am. Well, if you go to File Explorer and you have a data drive that's a W, that's a lot easier to, that's a lot easier to manage and do things. And I have a server at home, and this is where all my, much of my stuff is stored, is right here. So it's not uncommon to use map drives in a business or a small business environment. So we'll right click and disconnect. Let's see, disconnect's in here. Yep, it's down below, you can't see it. So we're going to disconnect it. Now we're going to do this a different way. We're going to use a command line, which you can put into a batch file, which we're going to do. That automates the connection so that you don't have to have your user wiggling around to do things. So we want a normal command prompt. For some reason it's not typing. CMD, there we go. Now it's typing. We want a normal command prompt. We're going to make the connection just to make sure it works. So first, let's type in netuse. Is there anything connection? No. There's nothing in my list. I am on the wrong computer. I need to be on my computer, not the virtual machine. Although it doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, we can do the thing from our virtual machine. So, and my computer is not Win 11. It's Windows 11. But you would put in whatever the name of your computer is. So I would type in netuse Z. We'll just choose Z / Windows 11 / data. We press enter. Yay, it completed successfully. If we look down here, oh yes, there it is. We have mapped a drive to ourselves. Is that any different than mapping a drive to another computer? No, it's not. It's the same idea. All right, so let's see what we have here. We have netuse. Ooh, let's delete that guy. Netuse. Star deletes all connections. So /delete. And are you sure? We'll say yes. Is it okay to continue? Yes. And we do netuse again. There we are, we have no connections. Now if I do netuse on my computer, which is connected to a server, I'm going to get different results. Look at there. I have an X, Y, and Z drive connected up to my server, which is called 01 Lenovo. These are mapped to my computer from a group policy set up on my server. I have a Windows Server 2022 set up in my basement. Of course I do. I'm an IT guy. IT guys have those kinds of things because that's what we do. All right. Well, this typing in business, what user do you think you can train to do that? Nobody. So we're going to create a little batch file. We'll just put it on the desktop. Going to do a new text document. We're going to call this LOGON, logon. Now the problem is, as we've run into before, this is a text file. Well, text file is not going to help us very much. We are going to put in the same command, netuse 0 colon / in this case Windows 11 again, data. The problem is if we run this batch file, it's a notepad file to begin with, but it's going to blip by so fast we won't know if it worked, and if it didn't work we won't know any errors. So it's very common to put a pause so you can see, did this darn thing work? All right, Well, we can't change our view of the files from here, but we can go to File Explorer and do it. And there's our desktop. So we can go to View, we can go to Show, and we can show file name extensions. To make it an executable script or batch file in Windows, we need either a BAT extension or a CMD. Either one works fine. And when I press enter, it'll say, "Oh, are you sure?" Yes, I'm sure. I'm an expert IT guy. So I press yes. And notice we have a little gears here. Well, let's double click and see if it works. And we can see that it worked and there were no errors because we put the pause in it, and there's our little drive. So then we would edit it and take that away, take away the pause, and if somebody loses their network drive, they just have to double click on this and it reconnects them. Once you've connected a drive, when you restart, it normally stays connected. So that helps. If you're working in a little work group, and I've done this with small customers where we put all the files in one computer, share it out, map drives to it, because then you only have to back up one location. You don't have to back up something on all the computers. Well, the last thing we're going to do is activate the local administrator account. Remember, the local administrator account is disabled by default. Well, we should know how to reactivate it, just in case. Somehow you have to get to an administrative prompt. That can be done in the recovery environment, which I don't think we've done any labs on that yet, or it can be done before you have trouble. Well, let's find out how to do it. This one, yes. We need an administrative command prompt, so CMD, or you can right-click and do PowerShell, or now we have Terminal Admin. So Windows is changing their command prompt a little bit. It's a little nicer than the command prompt used to be. So I like the new little terminal because it's more like Linux. And actually the new terminal is based on PowerShell. All right, so we're in it, but regardless, whatever we're in, administrator. All right. So we're going to do net user instead of net use. See how that's a little different? And we're going to say administrator. And we're going to say active, yes. Now this can be done at a command line if you can get to your recovery environment. And then you can activate the administrator. You do this if your regular account that you log into is corrupted and you can't log into it, and you don't have another account set up on your computer. I always set up secondary accounts in all the computers that I use, so in case my main account gets corrupted, I can log in with a different account. You don't think these things are important until it happens to you, and you have no other way to access your information. So we're going to press enter, and it was completed. Everything's good. We could log in as the administrator if we wished. We're not going to. We're going to go to computer management, which is not in any version of Windows other than, oh, and by the way, you should do this one on the virtual machine. Yeah, it says right here, do this lab on the virtual machine. All right. We go to local users and groups and blah, blah, blah. Notice there's not a little down arrow. If we go in here, yep. See, he's happy. So active is the same as enable, disable. Well, we could run this command again and do no, or you could change it from, Computer Manager. There. Now, if we look over here and we refresh, look at there, disabled. Well, you never think things like this are important until disaster strikes. Just like you never think about insurance for your house or your car until something happens. You never think about backing up your files until you lose them all and they were your only copy. Then you will be serious about your backing up and disaster recovery. See you later.